Hello everyone, welcome to Fine Moon Rising. This is Sagittarius' tarot, astrology, and energy reading for the latter part of August and into September. So Sagittarius, pretty interesting reading. I am doling out the cards right now to direct not only your art sigil, which is the energetic movement of this month, as well as for your tarot reading. So we will be doling out the cards shortly here, and then we'll head into some astrology and things like that as I'm drawing, and then we'll come back and circle back to the tarot at the end. So here we go. We do have the Fool card, and then we have the King of Swords here. We have the Seven of Cups popping out as well, and then the clarifiers that I've drawn for these cards are the Eight of Coins, the Seven of Swords, and the Four of Cups. So for Sagittarius, the energy, and I'll get bottom of deck energy as well for you, which is the overall energy of the reading. And so it looks like you have the Sun, the Two of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. So starting off, we do have this Fool, and this Fool card leads me to believe that you are definitely starting something new. I think there's a bit of a trepidation, but I'm not feeling any kind of anxiety towards it. I feel like it's a necessary and needed change. So I feel like this month there might have been some sort of eruption, and we'll go into the astrology regarding that as well, at the beginning of the month that has maybe pushed you in a certain direction that maybe you hadn't anticipated before, but it's almost like kismet. Things came together in the right way in order for you to move forward. And so after this, whatever the eruption was, you are now starting something new on a different path. And I feel like it is something that you have some experience in. I do think that this path lends itself to the experience that we've had in the past, maybe the education level, maybe the relationship style, things like that, that are resembling it. And so I do think that this is kind of, you understand it. It is new to you. This is a new direction, but I think your feelings about it have changed. So you may feel like you're going backwards into something that is, from the past. However, it is not the same. This path is different as you're moving forward. And I'm starting just writing some things down to direct the energy of your sigil, which is chaos magic. It is energy of this month. We do have this King of Swords next, and it's bracketed, of course, by the Seven of Swords. So the advice here is actually keep things to yourself. You don't need to lay all your cards on the table. There's going to be some negotiations, and that's also in the astrology as well for you, that may need to happen as a result of some swift changes that happened early in the month. Now, so just don't let everybody know what you're doing at this time. Also, there is something about scheduling. There's a scheduling situation. Maybe you're a very busy person and you need to make sure that your schedule is, you have time to get everything done. There's also a focus here, though, on health. There is and if you have Capricorn in your chart, then Capricorn had something about really balancing out health and well-being as well. So you might share that in your chart. Go ahead and view that. Anyway, so the Seven of Swords. Now, watch also in negotiation for people who are maybe a little smarmy, or, you just kind of can see right through them. So go ahead and do that. Use your second sight, use your intuition, and go ahead and see right through the situation and look at it from a bird's eye view. It will help you move forward. Also, making a plan of action. So King of Swords is definitely the strategy king. There is a strategy that you're laying in place, and people may not know what you're doing because you're just not saying anything, but you're doing it anyway. And then later they'll kind of ask questions and say, well, what are you doing now? It's going to be one of those things like, surprise, here I am. Okay. The Seven of Cups here is showing up as, a choice card, of course, but then it's followed by the Four of Cups. And so you're making a choice for things that you think that are going to be more beneficial to you in the future. So this is very much future thought. So how is this going to play out? I think there's an examination of how things are going to play out. The people you're surrounding yourself with, as well as the career path that you're on, maybe the educational path, or maybe the path in relationship, connection. How is this going to play out? And so there's a focus on making choices so that things play out in the direction that you feel is what you're manifesting. So the energy of air is quite quick, and we are in that time right now. And I feel like people are manifesting things maybe too fast without thinking. I don't think that's you. I think because of the King of Swords, you are actually planning everything out, everything in its rightful place. And I do feel like you are 100%, knowing where you're going and putting those steps in place, putting the mile markers. I believe there's something about mile markers. You might even be writing things down, which is completely, different from a Sagittarius. Not always the most organized human beings. You're very spontaneous and wonderful energy. And so, but at this time, you're kind of focusing on the steps. You're focusing on what you need to do. And as opportunities arise, that's when you're jumping. That's when you're getting to use that Sagittarius burst of energy and say, yes, no, maybe, whatever. And you're moving forward. And so that's where you're using the spontaneity. But you are keeping your eye on the prize. And I think something is better than you think. You might look at it and say, I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty good, but I'm not really sure. I think it's going to be better than you think. All right. So you do have as far as your overall energy, we do have the Sun, the Two of Cups, and then the Ace of Cups. So this is that happy energy. Your energy is like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go now. I'm tired of, maybe you're getting yourself unstuck. And so that's why you're kind of like chomping at the bit a little bit, raring to go. So there's something here about active energy, and you're wishing to just kind of push things forward. Two of Cups, things are going to come together as they come together. So don't stress. You don't need to be putting that much pressure on stuff. You don't need to be stressing yourself out. There's no sleepless nights here. There's no concerns. Stuff is going to come together again because things are going to arise. Opportunities are going to arise in your sphere that are going to allow you to make those quick, spontaneous decisions and move forward in the most positive direction for you. Okay, do have this Ace of Cups here. And so that is energy for something that is very heart-based. So there's something here about a pleasant, heart-based direction that you're more interested in than, I don't know, the daily grind or, relationships that are heavy and boring and, you just don't want to deal with that. That seems like too much. I feel like there's a lot of energy for you to put into something that is going to be very heart-based, very heart-centered, very exciting, very creative. And they do say it's something interesting. There are actually the same neurons in your heart that are in your brain or something like that. There is some sort of, it's almost like the heart has a mini brain in it, and it's always communicating. It is actually communicating to the brain. So we're starting everything in our heart center. So with emotions in mind, that's why healing is so important, because we're starting things in our heart center. As within, so without. We don't necessarily want to go down a path that's going to be damaging to our heart, and we don't want our heart telling our brain things that are based on trauma. So I think you've been in a healing phase, and I think you're moving right through that. And I think it's just as a result of something that occurred in the beginning of the month, and you're like, dang, I got to focus on this, then I can move forward. Now you're ready. Now you're ready to go forward. Okay. And so let's move on into the astrology here. And so for your sigil here, I am drawing, what was it for you? I fit well here. So basically I take the consonants and remove repeats, and then I go ahead and kind of create an energetic sigil for you. And this is actually finding your fit, the place where you belong. You're headed in the right direction. And I felt like with this action energy of the Sun, you really just needed a boost. You just needed something red and orange and yellow to kind of complement your energy. Okay, so as far as the rest of the energy for this month, there is definitely a focus on career. There's a focus on your financial aspects. You may be organizing that. There's something about, there is possibilities for you to create a small fortune for yourself. So it could be money shifting around. You could be selling something. You could be just gaining opportunities that are going to be more lucrative than you once thought. And so that's very exciting. Notoriety is also possible for you. And again, it's as a result of something that occurred at the beginning of the month that pushed you in another direction, that required some healing, that moved you forward on this new path. Now, it's a slow roll, right? It's not super fast. So I don't want you to stress out. Stuff is going to come up as it comes up. Opportunities come up as they come up. So this is something you just kind of have to bide your time a little bit. Don't just actively steamroll everything. It's more as things come up, and then you accept them, or change them, or negotiate differently. Okay, so there is something here about a negotiation. There is something here about you have the upper hand. there is something here about, you know, knowing where you're headed and how this is going to benefit you, and how you can tweak it to benefit you better. So there's something here about also relationships, of course. I think that possibly in connection, you did have a challenge beginning of month. Also, you know, it's kind of possible throughout the month to have a little bit of relationship challenges, but I think they're going to settle into, as that healing took place, or as that healing is taking place, I believe that you're going to be moving towards a healthier spot in connection. And I think it's just going to be easier, more free-flowing. Maybe there was a, you know, misunderstanding. Maybe it was about your direction and people are saying, no, don't do that, do this, you know. Maybe they wanted you to do one thing and you're like, you know what, that's not a fit for me. Sorry, I'm going to go this direction. And also, added benefit, the new direction is more lucrative. So, and I think you're seeing that. Maybe others are not seeing that. They're not understanding what your plan is. And that's okay. They don't have to. It's not their life. It's yours. You are the captain of your own ship. So just take hold and you know, direct it. Really, this is a reading of directing things. And so, shortly, you will actually see the ending cards, which would be the Justice, the Ten of Cups, and then the Devil in reverse. And I wasn't doing reversals, so, I mean, the fact that the Devil came in reverse is just specifically for you. And so this Justice card came out. It is you actually creating a balance, and I believe, you know what, and I just feel like there's a sense of balance in your actual physical life. So, you know, not only balancing your time in your energy and when you're doing things and planning things better, but I feel like there's something here about you balancing out the energy in your home. There could be something that, you know, you need to streamline everything in your house. There's a cleaning thing. There's a, you know, getting rid of things, making things easier for you in the future. Because I think you're having a hard time devoting that attention to that. And this is actually balancing out. Someone else might be helping you there. But there's also this Ten of Cups for the happy home card. So I feel like that's why you're kind of doing it, is because you do want this happy home. You do want this happy environment. You want something that is kind of your own, something that reflects you. And I think you're finding that part where you're finding that reflection, you know, where you can clearly see the good in you and also things that maybe need to be handled. And then you also have the Devil in reverse. Means you're not trapped. You're absolutely free. So that's what's happening here. It just means that you're no longer stuck. And I think that was the energy in the beginning of the month that you butted heads against, is the energy of maybe someone or a group or something like that was just, you just felt like you were beating your head, beat your head on a wall, right? And you just got tired of it, you know, like how many times can we do that before we get a headache, right? And so that's why I feel like you just kind of, you know, let go. And now you're noticing that you're 100% free. So, all right, if you enjoyed this reading, please like, share, subscribe. See you next time.